or Purview? DSS can accommodate students for many activities under Section 504. Captions for videos, all videos, is that the responsibility of DSS? Is the DSS office responsible for every campus webpage? How about all education software? And what about admissions and records for your campus?
No, clearly, Disability Services is not responsible for all this.
But 508 is like kryptonite for DSS offices. The offices are already overburdened and overwhelmed. It would make no sense to give the DSS office the task of complying with 508. DSS offices should resist this. 508 is a mandate that affects the whole of the university and should be supported by the whole university. Captioning is especially expensive, and unless it is specifically student-oriented, it should be paid for by the departments who make the video content or who are displaying the video content. Managing the campus's websites is an immense challenge. It cannot be the Disability Support Services Office that will maintain the campus website. 508 categories for products that should be accessible from the beginning, not something that you will have to adapt. Can you identify these products on your campus? And we're talking about software applications and operating systems, web-based information and applications, telecommunication products, video and multimedia products, self-contained and closed products, and office products that you wouldn't consider, like kiosks, and finally, desktop and portable computers. These are some examples of information and computer technology: fax machines, scanners, printers, copiers, PDAs, computer software, computer operating systems, learning technology attached to textbooks, phones, information kiosks, ATMs, multimedia, videos, World Wide Web files, learning management systems, and finally, video conferencing tools. This is a campus responsibility, and it requires a campus-wide effort from a campus-wide team. So who should be involved on your campus? Well, you need to gather support. You need to work with your administration to identify high-level players such as vice chancellors, the provost, the academic computing CIO, the academic and faculty senates, centers for faculty development and excellence, student affairs, equity and diversity, the ADA and 504 compliance offices, public affairs, athletics, and library administration. Do you have an Access Tech initiative on your campus? Such an initiative would cover 3 areas: instructional materials, purchasing, and web administration. Each one of these areas is a key area to cover with an initiative. By establishing a campus-wide group, you are able to cover all 3 areas all at one time and divvy out the work accordingly. Procurement goals would include the following: developing procedures, contract language, training, exemption process, documentation for accessibility, developing equally effective access plans, and the evaluation and monitoring, which is always a continual need. Let's look at the purchasing process first. The process will trigger buyers' spider senses. By gathering pre-purchase information and accessibility information, we're able to determine at times how accessible a product is. By reviewing this documentation, we can look for areas of concern. We can review the product and service and see who it impacts, and then we should allow the placement of the order.